DLC for Breath of the Wild is finished. What will we get from The Legend of Zelda in 2018? What's up, everybody? It's Zach from Switchforce. I've got Gabe here, and today we're discussing the future of our favorite friend in green and what he might bring in this upcoming year.
He doesn't always wear green anymore, Zach.
He could wear blue.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll wear yellow next time.
Maybe.
We don't know, but we do know that Breath of the Wild DLC is over. They confirmed that this past week, and we know that we're not getting a mainline Zelda, of course, in 2018, but is there an opening for either a spin-off, a remake, or virtual console bonanza in the coming year on Switch?
There's a chance, right? And there's a little bit of significance to the year 2018 because it is the 20th anniversary of Ocarina of Time. That game was released in 1998. Now, I don't think they do anything with that game specifically just because we had the remake on 3DS not long ago. So right. I don't see that being in the cards for Switch, although it's possible. But yeah, significant year as far as that goes. And we were looking at the dates of all these Zelda games, and there doesn't seem to be a pattern or anything like that as far as like, hey, they skip every couple of years. For the most part, there's something Zelda related every single year. Whether it be a smaller handheld game, whether it be a major game, there's always something going on. Or now remakes and re-releases, of course, count as well.
Absolutely. And if you look back, Breath of the Wild 2017, Twilight Princess HD in 2016, Majora's Mask 3D in 2015, as well as Triforce Heroes, both 3DS titles. There was nothing in 2014. 2013 was the excellent A Link Between Worlds. You can walk backwards from there. Also, Wind Waker HD in 2013, nothing in 12. Then in 11, you had Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. You had Skyward Sword. So again, not a set pattern, although they did skip 12 and 14, but then they hit 16. So I was going to say even years don't receive Zeldas. But there is a plethora of options for remakes, and I think that's what we should touch on first. What game do you think could get remade as sort of not a filler is maybe too strong of a word, but as a nice Switch title for maybe a month that doesn't have something brand new?
People are not going to like this, but I feel like the one that makes the most sense is Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
Because everything else has been remade for the most part. We have either 3D versions of Majora's Mask and Ocarina. We have Wind Waker now done. We have Twilight Princess. Skyward Sword is one of the ones that wasn't as well received. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they want to remake it, but what else could they do? Of course, there's also handheld games. We have Minish Caps, we have Spirit Tracks. I don't know how that translates to Switch at all, especially in docked, just because the touch functionality of the DS was so integral to the gameplay in those games. But yeah, what do you think? Do you think a Skyward Sword remake would be good for Switch?
I do. I know that it wasn't, again, like you said, it's not one of the favorite Zeldas, but I do think that anytime you can get Zelda on the console, especially since the Switch is developing such a large base and potentially people that didn't play that. I mean, that's what we're going on. It'll be 7 years since that game released. So there's people who are now, 17 that were 10 years old and probably didn't play it. Or there's people who are now, Nintendo fans that weren't previously. So I think that's not too bad of an option. For me personally, I don't think the DS titles, like you said, are really translatable. I would love to see Minish Cap make an appearance. I really like the 2D Zeldas. I thought Link Between Worlds was excellent on 3DS. I really loved Minish Cap back in the day. And even if we don't get a virtual console, I feel like a Minish Cap Capcom emergence would be fantastic, and you can easily do that as an eShop title. But I think that kind of depends on what they do with Virtual Console, because in theory, GBA should be part of Virtual Console, but if that doesn't come up, then meh.
I mean, how amazing would it be to get another Zelda game, but in a smaller form factor, right? Something like everything we're talking about, Spirit Tracks, Minish Cap. Mm-hmm. Not made by Nintendo, but still new, completely new. I don't think it happens, obviously, but that would be amazing. That's one way for Nintendo to keep the momentum going without having to, of course, have the full Zelda experience, because Breath of the Wild just came out. There's no way that we get another Zelda game anytime soon. But
Sure.
I feel like that's a pipe dream, and I don't think we get that at all. Like a non-Nintendo developed Zelda game. The Hyrule Warriors 2 is something that like comes to mind a little bit. The games did well. People liked it. So I can't say I'm a fan of it, but
I would love to see Nintendo take the approach of kind of doing some smaller titles. There's no, evidence that they would do this. Mario has gotten, I guess, outsourced, if you will, to other franchises like the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series, obviously Mario plus Rabbids this year. But I would love to see them take smaller teams to do more creative projects, even if that meant a 2D Zelda, kind of, in the vein of how Cuphead was so successful, kind of throw back to that and do a downloadable Zelda. But I think Nintendo views that franchise so highly, I don't know that they would put it in that position. Just to give you a little bit more stats, though, here, Wind Waker HD sold over 2 million copies. So that was very successful on the Wii U, given the install base. Twilight Princess HD, not as successful. The reports are under 1 million, but that came out at the very end of the Wii U life cycle, and people were very down on the system at that point. Obviously, Breath of the Wild, crushing it around 5 million copies on Switch and over 1 million on Wii U. But Wind Waker HD proves that when it's a game people want and given a platform that remakes work. Ocarina of Time 3D sold over 4.5 million. Majora's Mask 3D over 2 million. So I think the most likely thing would be, like you said, a Skyward Sword retread. But if they're willing to get a little creative, I would love to see one of the handheld adventures, put back into the limelight.
The only other thing that kind of makes a little bit of sense to me is a compilation, and they've done this before, but a compilation of the really old Zelda games. So you put Legend of Zelda on there, you put Link's Awakening, you put The Adventure of Link, and maybe throw in A Link to the Past. Right? If you sell maybe those 4 games combined, you can probably sell those for a decent amount of money. Probably not full retail, of course, but the heritage of Zelda in one cartridge would be, or downloadable, whatever. So yeah, to me that's the more feasible thing. And like I said, we kind of skipped over it, but I think Hyrule Warriors 2 is just as feasible as a Skyward Sword like remake. But honestly, the sad truth is we probably don't get anything Zelda related.
Do you think we see Link in Smash Brothers? Does Link show his face at all on Switch in 2018?
Yeah, I think so.
You think Link appears in some form or fashion, whether it's a Smash Bros.
Yeah, because
or a Zelda title?
That's the thing. I believe a Smash Bros. Port is coming.
Yeah.
In my gut, I feel that. So Link will be there. Link's not like traditionally in Mario Party, but I don't know. It's time to bring everybody into Mario Party.
Nintendo Party? Yeah, like they're doing Mario Kart. Why not do it for Mario Party?
Yeah, I think that's time. Yes, Link is going to be on Switch in some fashion. I have to say, that's my hope. But I guess it's just, what way does it take? So if it is a Skyward Sword remake, does that excite you? Do you play that again? Because you played some of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little weird to go back to that after playing Breath of the Wild, and I wonder how players would take to it. I would definitely give it a go. I mean, portable Skyward Sword with up-res visuals sounds good to me. It would be weird to kind of dive straight into a very traditional and very slow starting Zelda after Breath of the Wild drops you and says go explore and we're Game of the Year, enjoy. I think my gut, sort of like you, says nothing new, no remake, no cool smaller game. They have such a goldmine of 2D Zelda, I wish they would use it, but probably we don't get a Zelda title, and instead we do see him in that Smash port or in a Nintendo Party, which frankly I'd be just so excited for because I love Mario Party.
Can I say a couple more things though?
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda, Four Swords Adventure, perfect for Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the multiple Joy-Con, it's meant for multiplayer. So throw that out there.
But as we mentioned, like a lot of this really has to do with like what happens with the freaking Virtual Console. I think that dictates so much, because in theory we should get Virtual Console, and that would allow for a lot of Zelda games to hit in 2018. Link to the Past, the original Legend of Zelda. I mean, I guess we should say that given the NES and SNES service that is coming with the online service, we're probably at least getting those two, right? Like that's
I mean,
or at least the original Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, something. And
So you will be playing Zelda on Switch, I guess. If we look at it from that perspective, we don't know the exact form factor or structure of Virtual Console, but you are going to be getting NES games in some fashion, and you got to imagine that Legend of Zelda is part of that.
Yeah. I mean, I also have the solution. If Nintendo goes down in the slumps, right, let's say the Switch isn't selling as well, right? It turns into a Wii U situation. Link's crossbow training will fully resurrect it.
There we go. Bring back some motion gyro Link action, and you are golden. Well, I don't think the Switch is going down, and even if we don't get a mainline Zelda, I think we are going to get some Link action. So let us know in the comments down below where you think Link will peep in 2018. Will it be as part of Virtual Console? Will it be as a remake, or will it be in something like Smash Brothers or a Mario Party, Nintendo Party Fusion? Let us know your take in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from the Switch. And whenever Link decides to appear once more, we say goodbye to Breath of the Wild and its DLC. Although I'm sure some of you are just playing it for the first time this holiday season, you're in for a treat, and hopefully there will be more goodies in the months to come. Until that time, everybody, for myself and Gabe, thanks so much. Switch Force, out.